Hello, here is a Pilates workout for you that's focused on hips and core. So we're going to just wake up the hips and mobilize them a little bit, and added bonus, we're going to work the core as well. It's a really nice one if you sit down a lot, if you just generally have achy hips or you've been doing loads of running or something like that. It's a really nice one to get everything moving, and we're also going to strengthen the abdominals too. So we're going to start in relaxation position. If you do have a head cushion, mine's hiding under here. You can pop it under your head or use a little cushion or a towel. It's just to get a nice little alignment for the head, so you're looking straight up at the ceiling. Feet are hip distance apart, and let's just start with some breathing. So you're going to inhale down and back into the floor, and exhale to soften the ribs. So we're just using our breath here to expand around the spine and provide support when we get into a little bit more of the challenging exercises. Let's just go for one more, inhaling into the floor and exhaling to soften the ribs down. We're just going to start with some pelvic tilts just to loosen up the lower back a little bit before we begin. And well, we're warming ourselves up a little. So I want you to roll the pelvis towards you, imprinting the mat, keep the bum down, and then send the hips, the pelvis away, increasing the arch in the back. So you're going to inhale, coming into one direction, coming forwards, exhale, coming back. And on the way in, so you can just draw the lower abs in slightly. You might find a bit more opening in the lower back, and rock forwards. Let's do that one more time. Just easing in and rocking forwards. So from here, we're going to go into some double knee fold. So let's find a nice midway point where we're not, find a nice neutral pelvis where we're not rocked back or forwards. And we're going to bring one leg up at a time, keeping the spine neutral, and you're going to send the legs away, 1 foot at a time. So alternating your starting leg, inhaling at the bottom, long exhale takes the legs up, and exhaling down and down. So we're just waking up the hips a little now. And you can feel your core dialing up as well as you bring those legs up. So think of using the core to control the movement, down and down, nice slow tempo. Being careful not to imprint the mat here, especially when the knees come in. It's quite tempting to draw the knees really far in, but then the hips rock. Let's go for one more round. Down, down, one more full round wherever you are. And down. So from here, we're just going to go into mobilizing the old entire spine, the spine and the hips. I'm going to remove my cushion from under my head. And we're going to some spine curls. I'm going to add a bit of a hip drop at the top. So let's roll that pelvis forward like we did in the pelvic tilts and continue coming up just to the tip of the shoulder blades, and the front of the hips are nice and open. And then we're going to roll back down, keeping the tuck of the pelvis. Think of rolling through the entire spine and relaxing at the bottom. So the aim here is to open up the hips at the front. The aim isn't to come too high into the ribs, so we're keeping the ribs down. And roll back down. This time I'm going to hold at the top. So it's exhale to come up. Inhale to pause. Exhale to hold. Okay, we're going to drop the right hip down towards the floor and bring it up. Let's alternate sides. Inhaling to drop, exhaling to bring it back up again. So we're just thinking open, like bit of flexion of the hips, then extending them back. alternating sides. It's really nice when you can really feel the glutes working. It's almost as if you're relaxing the glute to let the leg drop, squeezing the glute to bring it back up. Relax that glute, squeezing it back up. The relationship with the glutes and the hips are really important because you need to be engaging those glutes to ensure they're nice and open at the front. Let's go for one more. Down, up, inhaling. Exhale, let's roll back down through the spine and relax at the bottom. We're going to start getting into our upper body and to our abs and working the hips as well. Let's interlace the hands behind the head. Let's just do a few curl ups first, just to wake up the abs a little bit. So soften the rib cage. We're going to nod the chin. I'm going to curl up as high as we can without disturbing the pelvis. Pause at the top. And then let's roll back down again through the spine. Inhaling at the bottom. Exhaling to come up. Inhale to pause. Exhale to lower. Let's do one more like this. I'm going to add on a bit of mobilisation for those hips, a bit more challenge. Coming up and down. Okay, let's bring the legs into our double knee fold like we did at the beginning. And we're going to have the feet together this time and the knees are hip distance apart. Pelvis is nice and neutral. We're going to do a little oyster, so we're going to rotate that hip, rotate that knee outwards so we open up the hip each side as we come up, and we're going to add on a little move each time. So inhaling at the bottom, exhale to come up. Inhale to drop the knee to the right, exhale to bring it back, keep the feet together. Inhale left knee, exhale bring it back. Inhale to pause, exhale let's roll back down. So it's one breath per movement. Inhaling to prepare, we're going to add a little leg extension. Exhale to come up. Inhale, drop the knee. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, drop the other knee, keeping the hips nice and level. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, send that thigh away. Exhale, bring it back. Inhaling to pause. Exhale, lower. Okay, we're going to add a little toe tap to the end of that. Inhaling at the bottom. Let's exhale to roll up. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Looking between the thighs. Keeping that curl up. If you need to come down, just work on the legs. Inhale to extend. Exhale to bring that leg back. Inhale to extend. Exhale to bring that back. Now let's send the thigh towards the floor. Inhaling down. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale it down. Exhale, bring it back. Pause. And roll down. We're doing the full round one more time. Exhaling up. Inhaling open. Exhale closed. Try to keep the spine exactly the same. Straightening right leg out, just at a nice 45-degree angle. Nice neutral. Pelvis. Thigh goes away. Bring it back. Feel those abs. Bring it back. Head's heavy in the hands. Pause. Rolling down. Let's release the hands for a second. Let's bring the feet down one at a time. We're going to some oblique curl ups now. And we're going to extend the leg out and draw a little circle in our curl up, oblique curl ups. Let's just do one oblique curl up to each side. We're going to do this in a double knee fold. So double knee fold the legs. And let's have feet together, knees hip distance again. So let's go to the right, nod the chin, rotate the spine to the right and come down. Other side. So we're just going to do exhale up, inhale down. This time we're going to hold. So we're going to exhale up, inhale, straighten that left leg out. Exhale, circle. Inhale, finish off the circle. Exhale, bring back. And down. And other side, rolling up. Straighten that leg. Slow circle. And leg comes back. And coming back down. We're going to do one more to each side, nodding the chin, rotate. Open elbows. Circle that leg. Ooh, I'm feeling it. My abs are shaking. And down. Let's go for one more. If this gets too much for the hips, you can give them a little rest. Circle that leg. Bring it back. Come back to center. Roll down. Release the hands. Just hug the knees into the chest for a second. Roll the legs in one direction and then the other, just to release any tension. I'm now going to come up to all fours and work the abs a little bit there. Work the abs, work the hips and the abs a little bit there. So roll over to your side and come up. I'm going to swing around just because I prefer facing this way, facing my lovely plant. I'm going to come into all fours. So we just start with some cat. Cat is a really nice exercise to open up the spine and the hips. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Think of lifting the back of the neck up away from the floor a little bit. We're not looking straight forward, just slightly ahead of the hands. Ribs pulling up, shoulder blades broad across the back, not pushing into the mid back. And from here, like we did in that spine curl, we're going to tuck the pelvis under. And then we're going to curl, ripple through the spine, one bone at a time. The head's last. See if you can push the hips forwards a little bit more here. And back to your start position. So in your cat, you're not only tucking the pelvis under, you're opening the hip. So really focus on getting the front of the hips nice and open when you do this movement. Let's do one more like this. Let's come into our cat. Nod the chin. Inhale to hold. Exhale, we extend in back. We're going to take our cat and then take it back into a little hip rock. So, inhale to prepare. Let's exhale to tuck the tailbone under, ripple through the spine. Inhale, let's just rock back, keep the cat. As far as you can, keeping the cat. Exhale, come back. Inhale to pause. Exhale, back to the start. So when you go back, so keep going. When you go back, you're trying to maintain this cat shape. So try to keep the hips open as much as you can. I know it's hard as you're hinging back. So a little squeeze of those glutes are going to help. Last one here. Tucking under. Reaching back and coming forward. Now I'm going to add a bit of challenge for the abdominals and the shoulders and the spine. I'm going to hover the knees and do our rocks back and forth in a little hovering cat, or hovering 4-point, no, not hovering cat, hovering 4-point kneeling position. So let's tuck those toes and hover the knees. From here, we're going to hinge back. Think bum to heels and bring it back forwards. So we go back, stretch through the arms and forwards. Try not to tuck the bum under, try to keep the spine neutral. Inhaling back, exhaling forwards. Let's go for 2 more. Inhaling back, exhale forwards. Last one. Inhale back, exhale forwards, heels, knees down, feet down, and you can just stretch back into a quick child's pose, releasing any tension off the wrists. We're going to go straight in to some lovely side lying work. So you can roll up through the spine, and I'm going to come onto one side, doesn't matter which leg you start, and we're going to do some oyster here. So those knee openings, so there's lots of external rotation, and we're going to get a bit of internal rotation here as well. So we're going to come up, if it's okay on your shoulder, I'm going to be up here. If it gets too much for the shoulder, just going to bring the arm down, and you can use your head cushion here. I'm going to go up here just so it's a little bit more work for the core, a little bit more work for the obliques. Bottom of the feet in line with the bum. Knees at a nice angle in front of the body, lifting the ribs up. From here, we're going to add a bit of extra challenge by keeping the legs together. We're just going to hover the bottom leg off the ground. So you can already feel that bottom leg working, lifting up through the core. Toes are going to stay touching. We're going to open up as far as we can, keeping the hips facing forward and closed. So you're going to inhale, open, exhale, closed. 3. So squeeze that glute at the top. 4. 5. 6. We're doing 8. 7. 8. Keep lifting the ribs. Good. Now keep open. We're going to go knee to knee, toe to toe. So internal rotation. Feels a bit janky. The back foot like goes blank, but that's good. 3. We're going to do 8. 4. 5. If the bottom leg's too hard, having up, no problem. Pop it down. 6. 7. 8. And you can lower that bottom leg. Woof. That's always tough. We're going to bring the knees a bit higher up now, and we just do some front and back with the legs, and then we'll do the other side. So knees, pelvis nice and neutral, sitting up nice and tall with that upper body still, knees in line with hips, and we're going to straighten that top leg up in line with the body. Let's lift through the core, and we're going to open the hip up and then bring that leg forwards. So you only bring that leg as far forward as you can, keeping the pelvis the same. So on the way forward, it's tempting to tuck under, but we want to keep the hip in its range with the pelvis neutral. So as far as you can go with the hip without coming out of your neutral. Top arm can just be in front of the body. If we want fancier feet, we can point the toe. Then we can flex the foot to come forward, point the toe to come back. Let's do 4 more. Keep that core drawing in, keep lifting away from the floor. 3. Keep that foot same height. 2. 1. Hold at your extension, lift that core. Just going to hold for a second, breathe. Pull that leg away for 3, 2, 1. Bend that knee. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, let's do the other side. So this one's going to be a little bit more tiring because we just did it all on one side. We're going to do the other and then do a little bit of a stretch for the core, and then we're done. So bottom of the feet in line with the bum. You want quite a bend in the knee, so it's sort of like a 45-degree angle. Elbow under shoulders, lift that core up, feet together, and we're going to just hover the bottom feet off the ground. Knees stay down. From here, we're going to open and closed. So rotation, external rotation of that hip. Really think of the thigh doing the work, rather than it's tempting to do this. But I want you, even having your hand there helps. You want the hips still facing forwards. Open, closed. Good. 3, 2. Last one. Keep it open. We're going to go knee to knee, internal rotation, external rotation. Knee to knee. Really try. This will have to really concentrate on moving internally. Keep the ribs lifting off away from the floor. Core's engaged. Sorry, my eyes are closed. I'm really trying to concentrate. 2. Last one. Knees together. Drop that bottom knee. Bring those legs further forward. If the arm starts to hurt, again, you can go down on your side. Legs in line with the body. Let's start with the fancy footwork, shall we? It's going to point to go back a little bit, flex, come forwards. Pointing to go back, flex, go forwards. 6 more. Flex. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, hold back, holding that extension of that hip, squeeze that back glute, lift the core away for 4, 3, 2, and relax. Tap, tap, tap on that little glute. Well done. Just going to swing the legs round. Going to finish off just with a bit of cobra. We'll go to full cobra if the back allows it. Otherwise, you can just come in. We'll do a few cobra prep, and then you can always level up. I've got loads of glitter on my mat. I'm not sure what from either. So let's bring the feet into hips in external rotation. So you think toes pointing out, and the hands are quite wide, so the shoulders feel nice and loose on the back. So find whatever position that is. Heads down, bit of core just to support our lower back from the floor. We're going to start with just the upper back. So let's lift that head off the mat, draw a line with the nose, come into a slight extension, shoulder blades drawing down the back, collarbones forwards. Pausing and then coming back down. Inhaling at the bottom. Exhaling to come up. A little bit more core just as you're coming up, just to protect your body. Inhale and back down. Okay, if that feels okay, we can try going to full cobra. Inhale. Exhaling, coming up. Use the hands to get all the way into your cobra. Hips also off the mat, so we're extending through the hips. Adjust the hands if you need to. Pause. Lots of core here as you peel that body back down. Think of each part of your belly hitting the mat one at a time, the head last. Let's just do 2 more. Either full cobra or just the upper back, depending on what your back's feeling like. Some days your back might be up for it, some days it might not be. Good, last one. Coming up, pausing, and slowly lowering back down to the mat, softening the rib cage and the head down. Let's bring the legs together, hands alongside the body, push back into a child's pose. Just have the legs together for the child's pose, just so we're really working on strength, lengthening that lower back. Take a breath, roll up through the spine. And we are done. That was a lovely hips and core Pilates session. I hope it makes you feel a bit more loose in the hips. I certainly do. Feels a lot more relaxed. Thank you for doing the session.